Hey everyone, I know we're late. It's Friday. I was at a San Diego Comic-Con pre-party last night, and I woke up with this. I still have the wristband on. It was a crazy night. Today on the show, you're not going to believe, an amazing show today. We have so many movies to discuss. First of all, we're going to discuss Tom Cruise, who is the king of the box office because of the new Mission Impossible film. Also, some reviews of movies such as Theater Camp. These are other movies that are opening in theaters this weekend, should you care to check them out. Theater Camp, The Lesson, Talk to Me. We have an early review. I saw an early screening of it. And a Chinese film called Lost in the Stars, plus a very special guest. And Alan will be reacting live to the leaked Snow White and the Seven Dwarves picture that came out. Have you seen this yet? Alan hasn't, but I'm very excited to have you here with us today. Let's get things started on a Friday because, oh my God, I should not even be here. Oh my God, where's Alan?
Alan!
If you say his name more than 5 times, he shows up, apparently.
Listen to the wind.
Punched Jeffy Lahart out of his pants and through 4 walls.
I forgot what movie that was from. I know that was John Cena.
It's from The Karate Kid.
Okay.
It's definitely.
Oh, it's Saturday Night Live. That's right. Okay, never mind.
100% from The Karate Kid.
Yes.
That's how's it going, man?
That's how I remember it.
Precisely.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Comic-Con this year. Even with nobody being there, everyone will be there, and I love being tagged in a tweet with Eric July because my notifications just blow up.
Yeah, the notifications blow up. People call you all sorts of names. I just ignore it. I mean, it leaked out that Eric July is going to be on our panel, which is about independent filmmaking. I'm specifically having on to address 2 things. One is fundraising, because he seems to be very good at it, and how he put together this animation independently, which looks absolutely incredible. So, and we're also going to talk about production and all the kind of problems and challenges that independent filmmakers face. That is at San Diego Comic-Con. Alan and I will be there. We have a panel on Thursday, July 20th at 4 p.m. at the Marriott Marquis. I don't know what room. Look it up. Look up my social media or Film Threat's social media where we're promoting it. But let's see who's here in the chat with us today. One Punch Man Tolkien fan. Wednesday's Critics Court was awesome. I think it was my favorite by far. By the way, was that kid a young Chris Gore that was being interviewed? Exactly. That was me. That's why I always show that clip. Tom Siebert. Honestly, the numbers ain't looking too good so far, which shocks me. Not even 25 million yet, and it's been in theaters since fan previews on Monday. Hollywood hatred must have reached terminal velocity. That's possible. Crew is already rolling in, says Eric Henson, fan of Box. Hello. Is there big changes coming to Hollywood now that Indiana Jones flopped harder than a tuna on a fishing boat? Well, possibly. Let's see. Zavin has become a new member. Thank you, Zavin. We appreciate it. Spidey Sensei 72. Happy Friday, everybody. Just got my tickets for Mission Impossible tomorrow afternoon. I think if you look at the box office for the previous Mission Impossible films, they are global hits. They're not huge box office in the United States. Okay. So it's going to be a slow burn of doing very well because next week it's going to get competition from Barbie and Oppenheimer, or as many are calling it, Barbenheimer.
Also, this is not a holiday weekend, so I kind of feel like that might be the reason why the theaters have been filled up.
Well,
probably this weekend will say a lot.
If you look at the history of box office for Mission Impossible movies, and you can look this up, Alan, and put it on screen, Mission Impossible box office for all of the 6 previous films, they've not been huge. They've done respectable business in the United States. The thing is, they're global hits, which is why I think the movies are the way they are. They're very broad global hits that appeal, anywhere in the world. That's why you see him. If you've been following the press for Mission Impossible, he's been all over. He's been globetrotting, so to speak. We'll talk about it more. Let's go through and see who's here. Let's see. Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Join us as a member. Thank you, Lord Thoth. Killer Kit Klipsch, Hollywood being saved by a cruise. Who would have thought? John Manalang, thank God it's Film Threat, or TGIFT. Cruise control this weekend, baby. Let's go. CD Stein 69. Chris, hail Chris, Allen, and the FT chat. Great to see what a small movie like Sound of Freedom has done so far. That film's done very well. It's approaching, is it 50 million right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. We'll take a look at it. Alan's looking up the box office. Saw MI7 last weekend. Really great, especially after Indy 5. Imperfect. Okay, who took the batteries out of Chris's alarm clock? One would think. Super chat here from Enrico Palazzo for 5. Question: how did the steam train keep running if the villain killed the guys who put the coal in the furnace? Just asking. Have a good show. By the way, I thought the same thing the second time I watched it. The first time it didn't bug me, but now it really bugged me.
Well, it's super coal, by the way. It just burns forever.
All right. I'm going to get through all these things that are starred. It's getting Gary kind of late, says NPC. Leo Cody says Chris is on Comic-Con time already, and it's not even Comic-Con. Mid-mall snacking. Greetings. Don't forget to crunch that bush. Hell yeah. I think we need a t-shirt. From Rumble, BMO Better sub-supporter Gore is a party animal. Drink some coffee and let's get this started. I am pre-coffee right now. This is not good for anybody. MK Solid 82. Chris, I love Mission Impossible 2 because I love John Woo. I really miss Woo's impact on action films. I'm old. Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I think Mission Impossible 2 looks to be the weakest of them. But at the time that I saw Mission Impossible 2, I really liked it. So, but there's a video of me talking about it when it came out, like on the channel. We posted an old video. It's me and a heart and a picture of Tom Cruise. Look for it. Brock Samsonite, I saw Mission Impossible 2 days ago. It's fun. It's a great popcorn movie. Not the best Mission Impossible, but definitely not a bad movie. And Rumble Salt Dog Party, but no Friday morning whiskey voice. Was CG taking it easy last night? Did he have to buy his own drinks, perhaps? I did not buy. I think I bought one drink, and then 9 people bought me drinks. I was at a Comic-Con party last night, and it was epic. It was the Comic-Con pre-party. I go every year. It's insanely fun. And it's the pre-Comic-Con bash. Should I share screen and show you? It's from Info List. And holy cow, it was insane. Here it is. This is where I was at yesterday. Insane, right? crazy Comic-Con party. I had a blast. It was nuts. Maybe if I do that, I'll get rid of the ads. But I was listed as one of the stars that would be there. So I might be the biggest celebrity that's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Can I tell you why? Because no stars are going, not one. So, yeah, there you go. Carrie O'Quinn was there. No one knows who Carrie O'Quinn is.
Carrie or Terry?
Carrie.
Carrie. I have no idea who Carrie O'Quinn is.
All right, well, there you go. But yeah, I was at the pre-Comic-Con bash last night. I got home at like 2 a.m. I'm tired. So there you go.
Well, there's a reason to tune into Midnight's Edge in the morning. It would be the Monday after Comic-Con and see how Chris is doing.
I can tell you I will not be on that episode of the show. So did Chris go on strike this AM? No, I'm here. Sifax, hail Film Threat. Good luck with the hangover, brother. Lol, good times. That's my friend AJ. I think he bought me a drink. I don't remember, but we had a good time. Chris is on strike until Gary watches RRR, says River of Jordan. Oh my God, I'm hiccuping. This isn't good. All right, James became a new member. I'm just going to go through these. James became a YouTube member. Thank you, James. Bart the Barbarian, Threat Level 1, has been a member for 4 months. Thank you. Says, when's the Barbie special? Asking for a friend. The Barbie special will be a week from today.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about how we're going to do the Comic-Con edition of this show.
I have internet, and I'm going to do it from Comic-Con. Right. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I got to figure my schedule out then. So.
From Rumble, Salt Dog Party, but no Friday morning whiskey voice. Was CG taking it easy last night? Did he have to buy his own drinks, perhaps? Wait, so I already read that one? Or one that was like that? Anyways, I have to get good at this internet thing. By the way, Wednesday was the best Critics Court yet, says the Introspect M. Wait until you see the final episode. The final episode on July 26th. We're doing if you are a member of the channel, we're doing a jury special, which we are pre-recording on Sunday night. It will only be viewable by members of the channel, and members of the channel will be on the show. If you are a member of the Film Threat YouTube channel, go on the Discord, or you'll see in the members community tab, we're going to post the link to StreamYard, and you can talk to both Alan and I, and we're going to be judicating the jury. We are going to have a jury deliberator, an official jury deliberator, and then we're just going to bring people on to discuss the charges and to banter. And I predict it will be there's a technical term for it. It's called shit show. Yo, says Yellow Flash too. Mm-hmm. Yellow Flash, I'll watch your show on Saturdays. And sometimes I'm not really watching it. I'm usually out and about, but I'm listening to it. And it's
I actually caught it on Saturday as well. Yeah.
It's great. Hey, Yellow Flash, good to see you. The Introspect M. Oh yeah, I already got that one. CD, thank you, Yellow Flash. CD Stein 69. When did Chris switch his clocks to Nerdrotic time? There you go. And Imperfect says it's Film Threat, the crunchiest show on the internet. So crunchy, you can hear it through Alan's windswept negligee.
Aww.
Well, there you go. Okay, so real quick, I have an announcement to make. Which is Casper Van Dien was supposed to be on the show today to talk about the movie Mad Heidi, which he plays a Swiss dictator. And Casper Van Dien, one of the coolest dudes. I have hung out with him at conventions. He is the nicest guy. He'll talk to anybody. He was going to be on the show today. And yesterday I got an email saying because of the strike, Casper cannot be here. He sends his apologies. He will be on the show when the strike nonsense is over. And it is what it is. However, pinch hitting and coming on as a special guest at the beginning of the show is someone, you know him from Critics Court. Ryan Johnson is here. Ryan, how's it going and what's going on?
Thank you so much. I'm just really excited for my friends in this new Mission Impossible film. You know, Tom Cruise is the star of the moment and really making some magic out there.
Do you think Tom Cruise would be good in Knives Out 3?
I've been considering a film with a cloning premise where Tom Cruise was acting against himself, but also a cloning and sex change premise where Tom Cruise would act against Tom Cruise. He would kiss Tom Cruise. He would date Tom Cruise. He would break up with Tom Cruise. It would just be Tom Cruise seeing what it's like to act against himself. And I think that would be really amazing for him.
Okay, Ryan. Now what I think I have the big question that I think everybody wants answered, which is whatever happened to the Star Wars trilogy that was announced right after The Last Jedi, or when The Last Jedi was coming out. What happened to your trilogy?
Well, the first little trilogy went to the market, and the second trilogy went all the way home. And you're going to see it one day, 30 years from now.
All right. Now, you have a friend of yours who is exactly there you go. A friend of yours recently launched a Kickstarter for a comic book. I contributed to this Kickstarter. It's nearly funded right now, less than a week. Tell us about your friend's comic book.
Yeah, this is a love letter to Monty Python's Life of Brian. People who believe in blasphemy will be really, really happy that they did it. I'm a big fan of the Film Threat channel. I've been following the exploits of Mr. Chris Gore for decades now, watching his hair slowly gray. And, I wrote this with Chris in mind and Chris's audience. I literally was like, one day Chris is going to be able to see this book. And that's how it was made. It was made with you in mind and your audience for blasphemous, satirical humor.
Well, I'll just say this. I contribute to Kickstarters all the time. I mostly do comic books and indie movies. The tech stuff I think can be kind of sketchy. You're basically paying for their R&D. But I purchased this comic. It's a friend of yours launched it. And tell us about your friend.
Well, my friend is just a big fan of the Film Threat channel. And, honestly, it's so nice for this book to be presented to these particular people on the internet, because my friend is one of these people. My friend is one of your viewers, your listeners. He saw RRR immediately when you started speaking it up, and it's just, if you like what Chris Gore likes, you're going to like this.
All right. Well, truth be told, this is Jesse Snider's comic book. Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
Hey.
And you have been doing, I just want to let people know, Jesse's been doing a lot of the voices that are on the Critics Court show, and hilarious. And then he launched this comic book, and he gave me this other comic that was another campaign he did. So I jumped in. I want to support my friend Jesse here. Let you guys know there's a link in the chat. There'll be a link in the description for this episode. So check out, get King of Kings issue #1 on Kickstarter now. You're basically, I look on these as like pre-ordering comics.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pre-order comic. It's amazing, actually, because it used to be really hard to collaborate with artists, because the amount of work that an artist has to put in compared to a writer it's just monumental. But these Kickstarters are a bitch. And it's a lot of writing. It's lots of Photoshop and all that stuff to get all the images together. And I do Photoshop and graphic design. So now I get to partner with my artist friends and be like, all right, man, I'll do all the bitch work if we can go put out this book. So it's a great business model. And I mean, honestly, I just want to say two things. It's the truth that I am a fan. I love this guy, and I was a fan of his as a person first, because I met him at conventions. I've been pitching comics to Marvel and DC. I've written for Marvel and DC and Disney, Pixar, and whatever for years. And when I met Chris, I loved him, and I started to pay attention to what he was doing, and I found the channel eventually, and I've been watching for the better part of a year or something. And I reached out a little while ago and got really busy and didn't follow up. And then he asked for people to come onto Critics Court to defend Disney Star Wars. And I felt prepared to do that. So I reached out. And I'm so honored to be here on your show with you guys in person because I'm a fan. And seriously, I made this book for people like us. This is for smart people. All right. It's about religion.
Let's play the trailer. Let's play the trailer.
The
Let's see if the trailer will play. Will the trailer play?
Hey, I'm Jesse Blaze Snider, father of 4 little ones who had the bright idea to name all his kids after superheroes. Yeah, I guess it's safe to say that I've dreamed of making comic books since I was their age. And it's been amazing working in the big leagues, writing some of my favorite characters like Deadpool and Hulk and the cast of Disney Pixar's Toy Story and all the Muppets. But when the opportunity to produce a true dream project came along, I dove headfirst, putting my time and my own money into bringing it to life. This project, King of Kings, tells the groundbreakingly blasphemous tale of the 13th Centennial King of Kings tournament, which will choose the dominant religion on the planet for the next 100 years through blood, sweat, and music. This room in my home is where most of my work for KOK was done. We were 90 pages into our planned 160-page graphic novel when my family and I were struck by a devastating house fire that took my entire office and every memory I'd ever saved. After the fire, it seemed all my years of work bringing King of Kings to the edge of perfection would be for nothing. But hopefully, with the help of Kickstarter and all of you, our book's fate can still be written. We invite you to check out what we hope you'll agree is the coolest, most worthwhile, value-filled comic book pre-order fundraiser you'll ever see. That'll have you laughing and hopefully talking for the rest of your lives. Thank you.
And I'm saying, whoa! Here we come. You tell him, Dad. I'll tell the ladies.
Oh.
Let's do this. I think I'm tired.
Dude, that was great.
Wow,
91% so far. Okay, so the link is in the chat. That's awesome.
Yes, that was Mr. D. Schneiderman playing Odin. We have some of our extended goals. I produced this promotional material, and we're going to release some things at different tiers. And we made these WWE style. Basically, I had my dad woo. If for those of you who don't know, my father's D. Snider. I don't generally like talking about this, but I adore the man.
Your father's D. Snider.
Yeah.
D. Snider.
I recorded this song. I recorded a song to promote the thing, and I won an award. Me and my buddy Freddie Scott, we won an award for best humor song at the USA Annual Songwriting Competition. And my dad does the vocals with me as background, so I sing high vocals and he sings low vocals. And I got my brother Shane doing a sketch at the end as Loki on drums, and we made a music video, and we did these wrestling videos where he's wooing and basically threatening to beat the shit out of Jesus. And then I did a Jesus video to respond, and I adapted CM Punk's Boxing with God promo. So your arms aren't long enough to box with my dad. And they're really, really fun, and we're going to release them if we hit a certain threshold. I've pumped thousands of dollars into this Kickstarter to get it done. I put everything into this. I had 4 Horsemen Studios, who are the greatest toy sculptors on the planet. They did the color designs for this book. I spent all the time and all my money to make sure that this book got great, and then I got in over my head, and I ended up letting it stop. So it's here. You guys are the perfect audience. I mean, I honestly, I made it for us. I'm just a old school comedy head. I've been watching movies, working at Blockbuster Video since I was a little kid. And all I do is absorb entertainment and try to be the best at making it, specifically in comics, because movies are really superficial and I don't really care about actors and shit like that. I like comic book artists and worlds. So if you love that kind of shit, which I know so many of you on this channel do, please do give it a shot. I promise you will not be disappointed. And there's a lot of really cool shit coming from here after this campaign. So if you get in on this one, you'll find out about my next book called Fucking for Our Future, which is science fiction based around nudity so that I can make money on all these people who want all these nude books, but it's not gratuitous. It's all like intellectual shit. So I'm having a great time. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for having me on here. And thank you for all the time.
Thanks. Dude, everyone is going crazy in the chat. They're saying, I want to rock. A lot of people are saying, I want to rock.
Yeah, no one heard what you said. They're all just...
They're all like, yeah, no, it's great. So the link is in the chat. It'll be in the description for this episode. I jumped in on it. I mean, it's like a pre-order. This is like, I'm going to buy this comic anyways. Why don't I just like jump in? But
yeah, there's really cool stuff available.
Yeah, we talked earlier about it, but your campaign's almost funded, but we're going for the stretch goals here.
Yeah, we
go for the stretch goals. Yeah.
I need it. Like, I don't get paid back until we make like $30,000. I can't finish the book until we do that. And we're almost all done. It's a 4-issue miniseries. We've written the whole thing, and the first 3 issues have been drawn. I only finished the first issue. So this is just helping me to freaking get it done, get it out the door. And then, there'll just be more and more to come. I'm so excited actually about my future right now between my podcast and raising for all these things and finally breaking into not just Film Threat, but because of Film Threat, I got to meet all of these awesome people during the trial. And one of my favorite YouTubers is Doomcock. I don't know if I told you this, Gore, but last time when everybody disappeared from the chat, it was down to me and Doomcock, and we talked for like 15 minutes. It was great.
Oh my God, that's great.
I'm his channel next. I'm so grateful to you guys. You have no idea.
Oh, that's great. Well, the campaign goes for the next 28 days, but jump in now. You got to jump in early, just because that'll help get it, to those other stretch goals. So check it out. And Jesse, hopefully you'll be back on the show like before the campaign ends. Final push.
Yes.
Final push. So
unless you guys get rid of me, I will be here with bells on to do whatever you guys want to do, because I love hanging out. And seriously, this is the place to come for wonderful, discerning opinions about films, with just love and knowledge. And I can't recommend your channel enough. And my brother Cody, who's a really great aspiring filmmaker, when I told him that I had become friends with you and that I was on the channel, he was like, oh yeah, Chris Gore, oh I know who, yeah. So I mean, it's nice. It's not just me who you're getting the cred, man. You get the street kid. You get the people like us who know about this shit, saying that this person knows about the stuff as well. And then people start to go, well, maybe we should listen to him.
Well, I want to say thank you, Jesse. It's great that we, connected. Your voice on the show has been so fun on Critics Court. We've got, the final episode is July 26th. Maybe you can be on the final episode. I don't know if you're available then. I'll reach out to you, but thank you so much, dude. It's awesome. Everyone, there's almost 400 people watching right now. Check out the campaign. The link is in the chat and the description. Alan just put it in the description of the show.
Yeah, you guys have the power. The last book that I worked on was for Merck Publishing, and 670 people raised almost $60,000. I couldn't believe that. When I saw that, I went, that's it. Me and my friends who make comic books are going to do this, and because I don't want all of these corporate guys. There are people making money off of comics right now, and they are not the people you want to see succeed. They're not the writers and the artists. They're guys who see money. So I'm trying to get in there and steal this money from these corporate assholes, because we don't need more corporate think at the top of the comic book heap. We need people like Eric July, and we need people like myself and Clownfish TV and whoever else wants to throw hat to the ring that has love for this medium like we do. So please support. If you're not going to support me, support just any of these people.
Yes, and I'm putting the link in because I think Alan was confused.
Yeah, my internet is crapping out when I do something like that.
I love it. So I'm personally putting the link in the description of this right now.
Yes, and the chat would like you to add a crunchy bush somewhere in the book.
A crunchy bush in my next the Fucking for Our Future. We're gonna have some really great gratuitous thing. I'm actually doing the series of covers you can choose from, because the lead character is a power armor that's like a nude suit, and her boobs grow. So we're doing a series of covers where they're like normal size, bigger, bigger. Bigger, and we're gonna reach like a stretch goal where they'll explode.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Jesse, thanks again for being on the show. Appreciate it on a Friday. We got a real quick question for you here from CD Stein 69. Says, question for Jesse: how did he find his artists for the book?
Shout out to Aaron Sparrow, one of my best friends of all time. He's a brilliant editor, brilliant comic book writer. He's also a fan of the show. We like the same kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Try to get Aaron into the group over here. You'll love Aaron as well. Aaron, he's been editing for so many companies for so long. He happened to know David Witt. He was holding on to him just in case. And David was known for doing rock and roll, like punk rock posters. He's got a great gallery. If you go down to his Instagram, you can see all these different concert posters he did. And each one of them is some unique, crazy piece of art. I went, wow, if anybody can convert these religious figures into rock stars, it's going to be David Witt. And we took the time to design the characters. David is so excited because he's a comic book artist at heart, and he hasn't really been able to get a lot of work in comics. So this is his best work showcasing his stuff as a comic book artist. And I've been sitting on it for 6 years because I haven't been able to put it out. I've gone through a divorce. I had 2 fires. I've had so many things getting in the way of me being able to finish. And he just keeps reaching out to me going, so when is it going live? Okay, we've gotten $2,000. Okay, he's so excited. And you can get drawn into the book. You can have your portrait drawn by him. David Witt is awesome. Find him on Instagram and find Aaron Sparrow. He knows talent when he sees it. He's a brilliant guy.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jesse, thank you for being on the show today. Hopefully we'll see you in the last episode of Critics Court on July 26th. And hey, Aaron Sparrow is great, says the Introspect M. Yes, I know Aaron. He'll message me every once in a while with some crazy piece of news, or we talk on Twitter. But
Aaron is a really wise man.
Check out Jesse's campaign. He's going to get funded today, and then stretch goals over the next month.
Guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Seriously. Thanks, Chris.
Awesome.
Thank you, Alan. I love you guys. I will be watching, and I will be taking all of your recommendations and occasionally going, I don't know, you guys are being a little tough on this movie. It's just comedy.
It happens sometimes. It happens.
Yeah,
So,
just like the comedies. You guys don't want to laugh at things sometimes. I'm like, oh, they're just trying to make you laugh.
Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate it. We're going to keep going with the show. All right, take care. Thanks, you.
Jesse.
That was awesome. Oh my God. His Ryan Johnson is so on point. It's so on point. Like, so someone in the chat was saying that they thought Ryan Johnson was on the show for real. Someone said they thought it was real. That's so great. But all right,
I feel like we could get him on the show one day.
What's that?
I feel like we could get him on the show one day, the real one.
Oh, you actually had this thing and then we didn't put it up. Kickstarter kickoff with Jesse B. Snider. Well, we did it, and we don't need this now because that's not happening.
Yeah,
because it is the way it is. All right, let's look up the box office for Tom Cruise. Wait, we've already done reviews of.
Yeah, so
we're doing a reset here, folks. We're doing a reset. So here we go. These are the numbers for the franchise, and if you look, they're not crazy, right? They're very modest in terms of U.S. box office. So, give me a second.
Yeah, I mean, 220. That's the ceiling is 220. It looks like it hovers around 200 million. My understanding also is because of COVID, this production started before COVID. Was shut down many times because of COVID, and so I think Ryan Kindle said it ballooned to like 300 million. So it's not looking good for this movie to actually make money, but will it make money? Will it perform as well as the other ones? That's going to be the wait and see here.
Now this is domestic, right?
This is whatever Box Office Mojo is giving me.
All right. So you got lifetime gross.
This
has to be domestic, and then wait. You had it in the order of largest. The biggest box office is Mission Impossible Fallout at 220. Mission Impossible 2 made 215. Ghost Protocol 209. Rogue Nation 195. the first Mission Impossible was 180. Mission Impossible 3 made 134. Dead Reckoning is currently 15. Is that right? That seems kind of low.
Yeah, it depends on when they updated this last.
Right. Okay. Well, look, this is what God, who was I talking to? We were discussing that the box office history of Mission Impossible movies has not been huge. It hasn't been huge with regard to US grosses. It's always done respectable. That is respectable business. It's the global, I don't know if you can find global numbers.
Yeah.
The global numbers that are actually better. And there are certain franchises where that's the case. For example, James Bond movies. I mean, and you could compare Mission Impossible to a James Bond film. I think it's in a way it's kind of taken over, where James Bond the James Bond franchise, I think is become less than satisfying to people of late, especially with a lot of talk of, oh, maybe we'll have a female James Bond or this. Like, nobody cares. I want to see, I want to see Tom Cruise. I want to see James Bond be the star of his movie franchise.
Okay,
What Mission Impossible is
so I
kind of
can't. Yeah, let me talk about global, because I can't find a chart with the global at the moment.
Okay.
But the top one, Mission Impossible Fallout, made 220 here in the United States, 570 worldwide, for a total of almost $800 million worldwide.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was nearly $1 billion, right? 800 million, right? What'd you say? 570
570
worldwide?
global.
Yeah. So 570, it's like more than twice the box office of the United States was the global market.
Yeah, let's see. Mission Impossible 2 made 500 million, so it roughly did what domestic did. Let's look at Ghost Protocol here. Yeah, so Ghost Protocol did 200, domestic did 485, worldwide for almost $700 million.
So I would not fret about the box office for Mission Impossible in the United States. So there you go. And like, look, Sailor Mercury, Mission Impossible is better than Craig era Bond. I 100% agree. And I'll tell you why. That's the case. Because the key creative person behind it is Tom Cruise. He is a producer on the film. And I was even talking to someone, we were at a screening and talked to someone who worked with the post-production team on the recent Mission Impossible movie, who told me on Dead Reckoning, he told me basically everything has to go through Tom. They'll edit and edit and edit a sequence, and it goes to Tom, and then Tom finally gives it a thumbs up, but he gives notes on every action sequence, every single one. He said that they're working on the second one right now. It's already shot, but it's in post, and it will be for the next year. So that's the attention to detail.
I don't know if you heard the story of how he got this, but Paramount just wanted Tom to be a producer, to produce something. And when he went down all the IPs that Paramount had, he saw Mission Impossible, and he took it. And that's how the first movie was born.
Yeah, I mean, the first movie, it's funny because the first movie is really good. It's Brian De Palma, the first Mission Impossible. It has that opening sequence where the entire team is wiped out. And then he kind of goes into hiding, freaks out. He's the only surviving member of his team. And you're meeting like Emilio Estevez and the team. And you're like, oh, this is cool. This is the new Mission Impossible team. And in the first scene in the movie, they're all killed. Spoiler alert, but the movie came out in 1996. So I think you should have seen it by now. And then you've got that amazing scene where he's, breaking into that computer lab or whatever, and he's like hanging by a thread. Yeah, which was awesome. And then the train sequence at the end. The first Mission Impossible holds up. The only thing that's weird about it is, not the only thing, but one of the big things that like stood out to me was the technology is so low key. It's like they have these computers and these big tube monitors, and like all the tech is really unsophisticated. It's funny. So as I watched, like last weekend, I watched all 6 of the previous Mission Impossible movies in a row. And it was just funny to see, because you're looking at like not only Tom Cruise progress and all the action sequences. The last 3 movies have been awesome. I really think. And the last one with Henry Cavill, I think was really good. Like, they've all progressed and they've gotten better in different ways. So it's hard to like judge. I remember when I saw Mission Impossible 2 and there's that scene, and every Mission Impossible movie has a scene where Tom Cruise, you're like, did he die doing this? The scene on the cliff in Mission Impossible 2, directed by John Woo, like that scene on the cliff, I remember feeling like nauseated looking at it, because it was like, I mean, you remember that scene, right? It was crazy. So
it's been a long time since I saw 2.
Well, I watched it recently, and I'll say the thing that is weak about 2 is, one, Tandy Newton, the romantic lead, I think is kind of weak. She didn't really work. She didn't work for me then. And the final action sequence is on the beach where they're just punching each other is pretty, it's kind of dumb.
I remember feeling underwhelmed.
Throw the glasses and they blow up. It's kind of cheesy.
I just remember being underwhelmed by 2, and so much so that I never saw 3. And then I jumped back.
What? You never saw 3?
I never saw the JJ one.
Oh my God. So, well, Sailor Mercury says Ghost Protocol was the last Mission Impossible saw before Dead Reckoning. The movie was still fun as a standalone, but I want to go back and watch Fallout for that Alana character. She was great. Well, I agree. Like, but look, here's the thing. So I think that when you're looking at the numbers for Mission Impossible, it's going to be one that is going to do very respectable business in the US, but I would not be concerned about it. This movie is going to be a global hit. And if you've been following, I've been following the press for it. They have gone all over the world to do premieres for this. It's insane. There's like pictures of Tom Cruise in Abu Dhabi. Have you seen? He's just like, and he loves to take pictures with people. It's like, and you see him everywhere. It's awesome. But yeah,
and now they can't promote it anymore.
Well, after this week, it's the oxygen is going to be taken up by Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So there you go. But
and again, they can't promote that film either.
Well, look, after Comic-Con, I plan to catch it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch, because August is a pretty thin month. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Blue Beetle for August. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go see movies that I liked. And I'm gonna.
I wish they would move up the Marvels.
Yes. Well, the Marvels, Alan, you'll have to wait until November for the Marvels.
Yeah. I will say, okay, so I took my daughter. It's kind of interesting. I keep bringing her up because she's seeing movies from a fresh new perspective and seeing the movies I loved.
Hi, Dad, I miss you.
That's her.
Whenever you bring up your daughter, I have to show her.
Yeah, you have to play a video of her. But I took her to see Mission Impossible on Tuesday. And because she wanted to see it a couple weeks ago, but for some reason couldn't. So I finally took her, and this was the moment that she realized the difference between actors and movie stars. And she goes, "Tom Cruise is not my favorite actor, but he's definitely a movie star. You know, she'll definitely see a movie with Tom Cruise in it, but she's not gonna. You know, she was pretty underwhelmed by his ability to act."
All right. I hear you. Let's go to the chat comments and questions here. We have a super chat from the Creamnado for 5. You know a movie is bad when Limp Bizkit doing the theme is a plus. Wow. Well, I hear you. Thanks, Creamnado. Lori Ormond, who's a member. I saw Tom Cruise at the Pantages for a showing of West Side Story. He was super cool and chill. Wow, are you kidding? I was just in the neighborhood last night before we went to the party. We went to the Frolic Room, and which is right next door to the Pantages. And the Pantages has the Beetlejuice.
Yeah, play.
The Beetlejuice play is there, and I'm looking at it, and I saw the people that were going in, and I'm thinking to myself, I kind of want to see it now, because it was totally like a bunch of goth kids like going in to see the Beetlejuice stage play. It looks like it could be good. It looks like it could be really good. So,
I don't know if you saw this, but when James Corden was in his waning days, his final days, him and Tom Cruise played Timon and Pumbaa in The Lion King at the Pantages.
that really happened.
That really happened. It's on YouTube.
Oh my God, that's awesome. A few more comments and questions here before we move on. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. Unfortunately, no Casper Van Dien. My apologies for that. And he sends his apologies as well. This has everything to do with the strike. So there you are. Spaceman, Chris, is that a real or a copy of Detective Comics number 27 behind you? Well, first of all, good eye. I probably wouldn't display it. It is a reproduction. And it was put out by Loot Crate made, and it's an exact reproduction of Detective Comics number 27, including with the advertisements. I have one bagged, which I haven't opened, and I have another one that I did open. And yes, very good eye, Spaceman. Thank you for that. Aaron Taylor, John Voight was great in it, and Jean Reno.
Oh, I forgot Jean Reno is it.
Jean Reno, who went on to be in the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie. Did you see that trailer for Godzilla -1?
No,
we can't show it because Toho like copyright claims everything, but oh my God, it looks so good. Look up Godzilla -1. It's a less than a minute trailer. Aaron Taylor, Henry Cavill should have been made into a franchise bad guy. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate he lasted one movie. I would have liked to have seen him more. I am Luke's father, who's a member. MI3, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character was friggin' brutal. That opening scene for Mission Impossible 3. I mean, it's such a good scene. It's so incredible. Yeah, I like Mission Impossible. I like all these movies. I like the Mission Impossible movies because a couple things. One, they're kind of standalone, right? Like James Bond adventures. They're standalone, but there's connective tissue between each of them. Then the other things that I noticed when I saw Dead Reckoning Part 1 a second time, the sort of AI is like this eye of Sauron through the thing. When they're in the club and you see the kind of AI like thing, it's like looming. So yeah.
So here's the question. Mission Impossible better than James Bond?
I think Mission Impossible is better than modern era James Bond or Daniel Craig James Bond. 100%.
Would you go back to Timothy Dalton?
Yeah, better than Timothy Dalton James Bond. So, Dennis Wright, Alan's daughter is a tough critic.
Oh man!
And Alan, show your daughter Born on the 4th of July, then ask her about Tom Cruise's.
I talked to her about that. We may need to do that.
Yeah. And Jesse Blaze Snider, we just got a bunch of orders, 93%. So cool. Thank you all. Hey, Jesse, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't even know Jesse was Dee Snider's son. That's so cool.
You should wear a shirt or something.
Yeah, well, maybe. But that's great. Jesse, what a cool dude. And Latino Slant just tuned into the show. And yes, I watched them all. I did. Thanks, Paulie. Love it. Yeah. Looking I think next week go see Mission Impossible a second time. So there you go. Cool. All right, we're going to pivot. We're going to pivot to something. I'm surprising you, Alan, with something. Right. Did you okay, hang on.
I'll just say I enjoyed Mission Impossible better on Dolby than I did in IMAX.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the colors are brighter and more vibrant in Dolby than they were on IMAX. Maybe I had a bad IMAX copy, but right. I would definitely see it again in Dolby. Plus, it doesn't fill the whole screen. That's the other thing.
And Paulie says, "Where's my Film Threat shirt?" You can go to shop.filmthreat.com. Just seriously, just go to shop.filmthreat.com. You pick. Goober says, "Where's my Tamale Man shirt?" Well, there you go. I'll tell you where it is and Film Threats t-shirts cure nudity on contact. and you just go to shop.filmthreat.com. You can get the shirt I'm wearing right now. I don't know that you can get that shirt, the shirt that you're wearing, Alan, because that was for the Kickstarter.
No, I bought this one.
Was
I bought
it?
this one recently.
Oh,
The
you
last
did?
order I
Yeah.
made, I bought this one. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I buy shirts. By the way, Paulie, I buy shirts from my own shop. We don't really make a lot of money on the shirts because we're not in the shirt business, but I like t-shirts because I don't want to be topless on my show. I mean, yeah, what if you get the t-shirt wet, Chris? Exactly. I mean, the thing is this. Would you rather see Alan in a t-shirt or Alan like this? This leads me to the next thing that we're going to discuss, which is this. Oh, shoot. All right. What the hell?
I know I didn't type that in.
I typed it. Which is why it's terrible. All right. The Ahsoka trailer the new Ahsoka trailer dropped. And I want to react to it with you, Alan, because I know you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to discuss it. And I want to see if you notice something that I also noticed.
Okay.
Let me, just a minute. Whoa. Hang on here.
You get
Okay.
copyright claim for this? All right.
Disney doesn't do that. Say what you want about Disney, but they don't copyright claim. But we're going to watch this trailer. It's 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And I want to see your reaction to this trailer and see if you notice something that stood out to me. Okay. So here we go.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create. We are no Jedi.
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one. You and I both know who could help you with this.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
You never made things easy for me, Master.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can. But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut. Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain. You have no power.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Oh, you muted.
Yeah, you and I will probably get those episodes early. I'll just say this. Did all the men die in the war? And they were only, I mean, look, I love that there's a mix, right? Like Star Wars has always had strong female characters, but the other thing that I did not like about this trailer, nice haircut. Who mentions a haircut in a Star Wars anything? It's just weird. women talking to each other, and the comment is, "Hey, nice haircut." That sounds like just something a girl would say to another girl, you know? But Alan, what are your thoughts since you love everything Disney and you're on the payroll?
Yeah. Finally the women are taking over, and the rebellion will finally win. How does that turn out later on?
Look, it was explained to me. It doesn't look particularly interesting to me personally, but I'll say this. I just don't know that I care anymore. And it's based on a cartoon that I didn't watch. So unless you've seen the cartoon, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
Are you excited for it? Is it going to be like?
No, I was just saying I've seen bits of the cartoon, and I've seen like Ashley Eckstein's performance, and I'm wondering, is this the natural evolution of where this character goes? I have no idea. I'm sure the chat would know that more. But are we just creating a darker Ahsoka? And again, I don't know if that's where she naturally progresses to. But it's one of these things where the trailer looks good, but there's a reputation behind it that kind of sours anything you see there. And so anything you want to say that's going to be good or potentially positive, that they're just gonna pull the rug out from under you when you actually see this. And so there's just like, I'm not inspired in any way that this will be good.
Well, I'm with you on that. I mean, and also the other thing that I didn't like about it is everything looks too clean.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about the Star Wars universe that made it feel real is that it was, looked lived in. And this looks like you can't unsee it when I point it out. It just looks like cosplay. It doesn't look like a real universe. It looks like some people did some very good cosplay of the animated characters because everything looks too perfect. Clean.
I mean, weirdly, Ahsoka's headpiece, I don't know if that's a headpiece or if that's her hair, but it looks like someone just sewed a pillow to her head. Yeah. But I did like seeing Data return. The red eyes are kind of putting me off a bit, but I'm just glad they finally brought back a classic TNG character.
And Ray Stevenson, for sure.
I mean, but so I assume then this is a one and done. That
I don't know. Like, I mean, they say they're building up to a big something that's going to take all the Disney Plus shows, and it's going to sort of conclude with a movie that'll be in theaters.
But you don't have Thrawn
wrap it all up. But we'll see. So my feeling is that the conflict will begin, but it won't be resolved. I think it looks. I think even the parts that look good, I just don't know how much I care anymore.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I mean, that's just it. I want to find positive things about it, but I know that if I find something positive, they're just gonna, it won't come to fruition at all. And it's all reputation based. They've done it before. They gave us something that looked cool, potentially looked cool, and totally muffed it up.
And also there is a noticeable absence of men. There are only 2 men in the trailer, and they're both evil.
No, all the people dying, those are all men.
Yes, exactly. Which is why you won't care about them when they die. All right. I don't know. Alan and I will watch it, so you don't have to. How about that? That'll be. Yeah. Should we do a poll? Oh, we should do a poll.
No,
okay.
I mean, we're gonna watch it.
No. Let's do a poll. Do you want Alan or Chris to watch Ahsoka? And do you want us to review Ahsoka, the series? Yes or no? So Ms. P. Coffee, if you could throw up a poll. Yeah. Should Film Threat review the Ahsoka series? And that way Alan will have to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I saw episode 4 of Secret Invasion.
I did not.
Oh, this
you want to review? Oh, no, wait, stop. No, hold it. Wait.
Okay.
We're gonna do a review. You're gonna do a review. But we
It's
have
gonna
some
be
other.
quick. It'll be fast.
It'll be quick. Okay, let's go to comments in the chat here. Goober says Star Wars women talk. Imperfect says nice beard, bro. Yeah, like the commenting on someone's appearance is kind of a thing that women do. So I guess they do that in the Star Wars universe.
Mhm.
Nice beard, bro. The cringe killed all men, says Renee. Star Wars Marvel purist, the estrogen is strong in this one. And hey, MK Solid 82 for 499. Anakin spoke highly of you. Is the same line from Christopher Lee to Obi-Wan. There's not a piece of originality in Disney Star Wars. They suck. Sam says the farce is female. Should be a t-shirt, says Bill S. Preston. And Kevin Plopper. Yeah, if you didn't watch Rebels, you will be totally lost. I did not watch
Well,
Rebels.
you have to watch Rebels? I mean,
Okay, by the way, I didn't watch Rebels because it's a cartoon for kids. And I also didn't watch Clone Wars. And keep telling me it's great. I can't get over the fact that it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
And
Also,
I don't like the I don't like
how many episodes of Clone Wars are there?
There are 900 episodes of Clone Wars.
You know, there's too many for me to sit down and watch, and I'm barely getting through. You know, it's like the only way I can watch it is to have it in the background, and I can't follow a damn thing about that show.
Let's see. Based Allen says Cyber Chud 2077. And Fear the Turtle 21. Yes, but Chris watches, not Alan. Alan still gets a break for dealing with Velma.
I know there's a season 2. You know, season 2 is the spotlight of Max during the strike here.
Well, there you are. And quick report from Jesse Blaze Snider, coolest geek alive. Okay, it came back just to say we're at 95%. You guys rule. Thank you so much. Keeps creeping up. So grateful. Thank you all for giving us a chance. Yeah, awesome. Yes, the link to Jesse's Kickstarter campaign is in the description of this episode. So there you go. There we are. All right. Alan is going to talk about yes.
Yeah, we have no images or banner for this, so
that's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna change. Just give me a second. Okay. It's episode 4, right?
Yes.
Did you talk about episode 3 yet?
Yeah, we did last week. It was the affirmative action episode.
Hang on, I have at a weird angle to type. I love how patient everyone. You can fill the space with talking. Alan.
Well, I mean, we're just building up to it because we know how great Secret Invasion was. The classic comic book now brought to live action glory.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
We almost there.
Yeah, but give me first.
Yeah,
what I got to talk about real quick. Alan and I are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Let me tell you where I'm going to be. I am going to be at one of these parties. Wait, can you see that graphic?
It's a little small, but I mean,
Hang
I
on,
can see
I'll
it.
fix that. There is at 615 Broadway in the Gas Lamp Party HQ for Comic-Con. I have tickets to go to this. It's insane. It's going to be a party every night at 615 Broadway in the Gas Lamp. You can purchase tickets for it. It's XLE Productions. Go to Eventbrite, look up XLE Productions. On Wednesday, they're doing 8-Bit Legacy, which is going to be a Mario and Nintendo party. On Thursday, it's the Nick at Night Club. On Friday, the Monsters Ball. And Wednesday through Friday, they've got the Malibu Dream Lounge, which is going to be a Barbie-themed lounge and club. This is from my friend Bernie Bregman. Bernie Bregman puts on events during San Diego Comic-Con. So this is pretty cool. Just look up XLE Productions on Eventbrite or just go to 615 Broadway in the Gas Lamp. It's the Park Nightclub, spelled PARQ. I am going to be there. Here's what Polly is. Can I just do a little rant about Polly? Polly, do you ever read that book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie? Like, I do stuff that's nice for Polly all the time, but it's never enough. It's always like, where's mine? He is like the kid that's like, but I didn't get a second cookie. Jesus, Polly. Here, Polly, go to Eventbrite, look up XLE Productions, buy tickets and meet me there. I can't do everything for everybody. I try to help out my friends, and sometimes they're grateful, and sometimes they're like a mouse asking for more cookies. Do you know the theme of that book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie? If you give a mouse a cookie and you keep giving a mouse a cookie, they don't do things for themselves. Because a mouse could make their own cookies. A mouse could go and learn how to cook and make a freaking IKEA chair. A freaking mouse should learn to make its own cookies. And then the mouse won't be dependent on you. It's like if you know that thing, if you teach a man to fish, what's that lesson about? Either you give a man a fish, you feed a man for a day. You teach a man to fish, you feed a man for a lifetime. I'm trying to teach my friends to do things for themselves. Paulie says, I bought your damn shirt. Haha. I love Paulie. I like hanging out with Paulie. He's like the brother I never had. He's like the brother I never had to bust his balls. But no, I'm just bugging him. Gore slant rant. Hell yeah. But yeah, if you give a mouse so what I try to do with my friends is like, here's where something's happening. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm gonna, just so you know, during San Diego Comic-Con, to my friends that know me, I'm probably not gonna respond to most of your text messages, because 90% of the text messages that you're asking me, you could answer your own question by looking on Google. Hey, where's good parking for the convention center in San Diego? Ask Google, not Gore. Yeah. Ask Google, not Gore. A freaking IKEA chair. Unexpected.
The past 4 years, I asked you every year, can you get me a ticket for me and my daughter? Did I ask you that this year?
Well, I always say no, and then I get it anyways.
I know. But I'm saying, did I ask you this year?
I can't help you, Alan. I can't help you.
Did I ask you for tickets this year?
I
no,
cannot
because I got it myself. I got my own tickets.
It's okay. No, look, I know I want to make you jump through some hoops.
Yeah.
But I will be there. I know I'll be there for sure on Friday night. I don't know about Thursday night, because Thursday I think we're going to try to see Barbie at like one of the movie theaters in San Diego, because we got invited to a screening of Barbie, but it takes place on Wednesday night, and Alan and I are going to be in San Diego.
Yeah, let me know where you get tickets, and then I'll get one as well.
Yeah, all right. I guess I'll tell you.
Jeez.
So, all right, Alan.
I'm doing your darn panel, for crying out loud.
What do you mean my panel? It's our panel.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one too.
That's gonna be super fun. All right, Alan, you're in the spotlight now. It's time. Tell us your review of Secret Invasion Episode 4.
Okay. I said it last week, and I will restate it again this week. Secret Invasion is the worst Disney Marvel production ever. And again, yes, worse than She-Hulk. And it's just the reason we weren't prepared to talk about Secret Invasion this week is because it's just a bad episode, and there's nothing of note in it other than the fact that the Skrulls now have access to Extremis, and I believe that was from Iron Man 3, but we all know Extremis from the comic books. So now they can self-heal themselves, and look, Rhodey is a Skrull now. And he was setting up his Nick Fury's Skrull wife to assassinate Nick Fury. And so this whole episode was about trying to assassinate Nick Fury. You know, this is we are I don't know if we've approached Kenobi levels here, but we are pretty damn close. This show is all about narrative. It's moving from one narrative piece to another. It's trying to set up a cool action scene where you know, basically, if you care, they're trying to the Skrulls are trying to destroy the Russians so that they can restart World War III, and there's a big battle between the Russian Skrulls and Nick Fury, and it's just really bad, and I hate this show so much. It's just boring. It goes nowhere, and here's the thing that makes this show, you know, just worthless. There's no subtext to it. You know, you have Skrulls infiltrating the world. Okay, so what? You know, what are you saying? You've got to be able to say something. You've got to comment about, you know, there's got to be a reason why the Skrulls are doing this, and have it relate to some aspect of humanity, some message, you know, you're pointing out some weakness of humanity and a way to overcome it. But no, it's just Skrulls have taken over. They're covert, and we're just running through this narrative. And so, again, I can't imagine anyone is watching the show except me. And you're welcome, Disney, for that. That's a freebie. Yeah, that's a freebie.
Is it safe to say that Sergeant is Nick Fury? Sam Jackson is a Skrull fucker.
Yeah, I guess he is. Yes. You know, and it's weird, but you know, they get into this thing where his wife, that Skrull basically got permission from the host that she's impersonating, who died, to be able to do this. And yeah, that was a sweet moment, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's go to comments here. I'm checked out. I don't care. I watched those first 2 episodes and I did not like it. And I haven't watched an episode since.
Yeah.
And everyone I talked to who's seen it has been disappointed. But let's go to the comments here. Say Lord Thoth says Fury went from the coolest MCU character, and then Captain Marvel came out, and this TV show is even worse.
Yeah, he's almost unrecognizable. He's almost unrecognizable.
Lord of the Films, Rhodey was black the whole time. The Introspect M says just you and Disparu. I guess the 2 of you are watching it. And I Am Unknown says Secret Invasion makes Moon Knight look like well-constructed, competent storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, Moon Knight is so much better than the show.
For real? Moon Knight is better?
You know, at least Moon Knight tried to say something about mental health. This one just doesn't say anything at all.
So Aaron Taylor says Nick Fury getting the green. Well, that's what I mean when I call Nick Fury a Skrull fucker, because technically he is. Wait, this is Bill S. Preston Esquire says Nick Fury, Skrull fucker, fall 2023. I mean, it does beg the question, if your wife turns out to be a Skrull, then have you had sex with a Skrull or your wife? How
I think he knew. The impression I got is he knew that it was a Skrull when he married her. Maybe. You know, but they try to set up this whole thing where Rhodey has commanded the Skrull wife to assassinate Nick Fury, and then they get into this kind of standoff where they're holding a gun to each other to see who shoots first, and it's supposed to end in this romantic moment, and you know, again, it's just bad.
Feeling Dangerous 113 for 5. I know I'm late, but now that the actors are on strike, how does this thing end? Does it really change much? If you have already addressed this, well, $5. We have not addressed it, but it affected the show today.
Yeah, in horrible ways.
Well, I mean, so today we were supposed to have on Casper Van Dien as a guest. He was going to talk about Mad Heidi. We were going to obviously ask him about films like Starship Troopers and other projects that he's been involved in. Casper Van Dien, couldn't do the show today, and he was very nice about it. Sent a note and apologies to everybody because we hyped that he was going to be on, and he couldn't even, Casper Van Dien cannot even do the show because of the SAG strike. In fact, yesterday during the Oppenheimer premiere, the red carpet, the actors had to bow out of the Q&A. So they moved up earlier the Oppenheimer premiere so that it wouldn't conflict with the SAG strike. The actors did the red carpet and then they left. And that's it. That is going to be the last red carpet. But here's how it's going to affect things in the short term. No actors are going to be allowed to do any media. That's no press junkets for movies, no red carpets, no interviews, even interviews on YouTube channels like Film Threat. If you are an actor and you are in SAG, you are not able to do any kind of media promoting any project. It's part of the strike because the actors are valuable not just on camera, but actors are a valuable asset when it comes to promoting a movie. So for the time being, with the SAG strike, I think the SAG strike is probably going to be resolved pretty quickly because there are big movies that are coming out, right? I mean, and that's why also all this press with Barbie was done way in advance because they knew it was coming. And Oppenheimer was right up until the 11th hour, right? Right up until literally the minute of the strike. And because they were on UK time, they had to stop. So I think I think that it's going to be resolved more quickly than the Writers Guild, but part of it, I believe, is for show. Part of it is for show so that SAG can say, hey, we're in solidarity with the actors, right? Excuse me. The actors are in solidarity with the writers. Flip it. And you're going to see actors on the picket line, although the weather in Los Angeles lately has been nearing 100. It's been very hot lately. I don't know how much they're going to last. I think a lot of it is going to be for Instagram and for pics. You're going to see actors go out, strike for an hour or two outside of studios, but you're going to see big actors strike. You want to do some celebrity sighting and get some pics? Look at those picket lines. They're right outside of Disney. I saw it outside of Disney.
Yeah. Well, let's be real. The money issues regarding the strike don't affect the big name actors. They're still going to make their millions of dollars. It's the small guys, and those are the ones who are going to be on the picket line. The ones
part of it
making
is
minimums.
Something the industry hasn't grappled with yet, and we've talked about it a little bit, but how much AI is going to affect things going forward. An insane in this AI, you're going to be able to license the rights to an actor, older actors. You're going to be able to make new movies starring John Wayne or James Dean. And you're going to have whole movies made with digital actors. This is going to happen in our lifetime. Right now, it's like, you get young Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones in the first 20 minutes of Indy 5, right? That's one thing. But that technology is going to get better and cheaper, only cheaper. A guy I talked to last night at the San Diego Comic-Con, pre-party, LA pre-party. I can't say who I talked to, but I talked to someone that in 2019 saw a technology test. Okay. They took every Tom Cruise movie ever made and put it in a computer. And then they took Tom Cruise likeness and they replaced Harrison Ford as Han Solo in key scenes from Star Wars as a test with Tom Cruise as Han Solo. So it's Tom Cruise in the classic vest with the white shirt, etc. And there were classic scenes, and not only did this technology test change and add Tom Cruise, it wasn't just taking Tom Cruise and putting Tom Cruise's head on Han Solo, it was his whole body, and his body moved like Tom Cruise's body, which is different than Harrison Ford's body. In addition, this person described a scene, the scene in the bar with in the cantina with Greedo. With Greedo. So there's the scene with Greedo, Han Solo's in the bar, and it's Tom Cruise as the character, And you see when Greedo comes up that Tom Cruise as Han Solo does that typical, that thing that like Tom Cruise will go like, he'll do like a, like that, like sort of a sort of like, like it did that. And it actually extended the length of that cut. So it was not only adding Tom Cruise as Han Solo into Star Wars, it was changing and editing the pacing of the movie based on things Tom Cruise would have done versus Harrison Ford. This was a test that was done in 2019. And by the way, this person who leaked this to me is very prominent in the industry. This is someone I have known for years, and I'm not going to reveal who it is, but this ain't BS. And this person described it as it was scary to see because it wasn't perfect. It was still on the deep fake level, but that's only going to get better. That was 4 years ago. How much better has it gotten in 4 years? So there you go. It was, I think that is going to be a big point, if not this go around, the next go around for sure. AI is going to be the big part of this conversation, and they're only beginning to talk about it in these negotiations. Alan, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, let me ask you this question. I feel like the strike, both on the WGA and the SAG side, I feel like the money issues have been already resolved. That the strike is not about getting more money, but it's about the side things, like for the writers not being a gig economy, not to bulk up a writer's room, to force studios to hire an entire writer's room. And I think on the SAG side, maybe it's this issue, being able to license your image. Do you get that sense, or am I completely off?
It's I do think that the actors are going to resolve it more quickly. The writers are going to hold out.
Yeah, but do you think the money aspect of it has already been resolved?
More, yeah. I mean, they're going to get a 20% bump, but you've heard like quotes like Iger saying that the writers are not living in reality, because the thing is streaming is not making the kind of money that Hollywood thought it would make.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is, when you're spending $300 million on a movie, this is what the studios were doing beforehand. And I think the reason where we're at is because they know they spent so much money and they want their cut. But the problem is that cut is no longer there. Right. And maybe that's where the real tension is. It's like, well, you spent this money in the past, so why can't you spend it now? And the studio is saying, well, we don't have that money anymore. And now we're at this impasse. Maybe that's the real reason behind everything.
Yeah. Imperfect says Chris is kind of a big deal. No, not really. But I just, I know this. I know a lot of people in the industry at all kind of levels, and I hear things and people tell me stuff, and I enjoy the conversation. I'm actually surprised when I find out how many people in the industry actually watch this show or watch our clips. It's a little shocking, but I kind of a big deal. Imperfect busted my balls. More comments here. CD Stein 69 says, look at those deep fakes they've done with those shorts with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland as Marty and Doc Brown. That was tech for the general public, and it looked decent. Only imagine big bucks behind it. It's only going to get bigger. And from Rumble, Aid Ellis 24 says, yeah, I tapped out after 10 minutes of the first episode. Yeah, well, good. Alan's still watching it. I'm surprised he is.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Sean O'Rourke says 160,000 SAG-AFTRA actors and only 15% are millionaires. Comment on that, Alan?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I think money is, well, two things. Yeah, money is less of an issue. It's kind of like, the reckoning now is budgets. The studios just didn't have the money they had pre-strike that they have now. And the other thing is, again, the big after actors, the 15% here, do they really care about the rest of it, the 85%? those are the ones who are getting screwed in the end. Are you muted? You're muted.
Yeah, a couple more super chats, and we're going to pivot to some film reviews. Alan has stamina, says imperfect.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
That's
and
my
CD
wife.
CD Stein 69 says best part of the SAG strike is shining the light on the fudged numbers by the studio in regards to streaming. Because that is great, because what the studios have been doing is touting how streaming is this huge hit. It's a success. And why? Because they want their investors and stockholders to get excited. And then the talent that's like, oh, it's doing, the writers and the actors are, oh, streaming is doing well, huh? How about we get a piece of that? And then, it's not doing that well. So it's kind of funny to see that play out.
Do you remember, in 2008 when the last writer's strike happened? I remember it really affecting the way I watched television. This one, I hardly noticed that there's a strike going on. My life has continued from an entertainment standpoint, which speaks to the leverage that these strikers have at the moment. Not much.
Adam Iglesias for 5. Isn't it all by choice? Can't filmmakers choose not to use AI, and celebrities don't have to say yes to AI likeness? No one's forcing anyone. That's true, but you're going to see it's already happened, whether you know it or not. It is for big tentpole studio films, actors are scanned so that if they need to do reshoots, they can do it with a stand-in and then graft the actor's face, especially if it's like a long shot or an actor running away from an explosion or whatever. One of the earliest examples of that was one of the worst shots from James Cameron's Titanic. When they're running away from the water and you can see their faces are kind of, it's shaky. That shot was bad. That's where you're going to see AI get used, and it's going to get used more and more and more. I agree with you, Adam, but the temptation is there, and it's out there. Some Rumble comments here real quick. From Rumble, BMO Better sub-supporter. I could make an argument that AI could make Marvel productions way better than they are now. I think that's true. I mean, look, you could bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and he could be a younger version. I mean, you could. Robert Downey Jr. could just say, sure, put Iron Man as me, and you can even do sound-alikes. I mean, didn't they use AI voice technology for Obi-Wan for the voice of Darth Vader?
Yeah, well, I mean, they used to do that. They've always done that, where they hire some actors.
Sound-alike, but now they get technology to do it. The performance now is from actually the software does the performance. Aid Ellis 24 from Rumble. How funny is it that Nolan outed the real budget of Oppenheimer on the red carpet, and it is double what was initially reported? Yeah, the reported budgets of movies are usually much more, the real budgets are more than what is the reported budget. That makes sense. So there you go. And Eric Henson, Threat Level 2, says, has been a member for 6 months, says, I was an extra in The Lovely Bones. Being on set is rough. If you value entertainment, you'd want these people to be happy. Yeah, it's it's boring more than anything. Boring and time consuming, and you got to stand around and wait for that few minutes where you actually get to do something. And J.S. Pena for 199. Hype for Godzilla -1. That trailer was insane. I'm a huge fan of Shin Godzilla. I bought both versions of Shin Godzilla. There's a version that's in English, and there's a version that's in Japanese with subtitles. I bought them both. What?
You couldn't remember what language Shin Godzilla was in?
I don't know. I just got them both. I didn't care. Dr. Fauci's prison butt for 5. The same way sabermetrics ruined baseball, Moneyball, movie making will ruin the film industry. I think he means AI. So,
did it really ruin baseball?
I don't know. I love that movie Moneyball.
Yeah, but the idea that you create your team based on statistics,
right,
and not on performance, basically,
right,
or hype.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about another movie. Let's pivot for a moment, and see like where 32.
Yeah. Yeah, I broke a chair.
Dude, are you first of all, are you okay?
Yeah. Wow, I'm not. Look, in my defense, I've lost 20 pounds in the last the last month.
Oh my God. Oh no, that's getting What?
That's a long clip. And yes, I did lose 20 pounds.
All right, let's talk about theater camp. Wait just a moment. Theater camp played at Sundance, and you saw it. Is that right, Alan?
I saw it at Sundance. Well, online, virtually, but so I think you have the better handle on the plot than I would, because I saw it so long ago.
Well, it's a pretty simple plot. So we just are going to review a few films that are playing in theaters now, in addition to Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. So if you're at a movie theater and you look around at the marquee and you've seen every film out there, no, you haven't, because here are a couple of films playing in theaters that you may not know about. Theater Camp is a mockumentary style film. It's shot sort of mockumentary style, like they're making a documentary. People are aware that they're on camera and whatnot. And it's about a theater camp run by a beloved matriarch. She falls ill and her son comes in, Troy Rubinsky. And Troy Rubinsky comes in to keep the camp going. What is theater camp? It's a place where theater kids go to put on plays, and it's a collection of incredibly oddball misfits. They're all trying out for parts. You get to meet the staff of the camp, Rebecca and Angelo, who are this friendly couple. He's gay, she's a friend, and they're just like forever friends who put on an original play. They also put on sort of these smaller plays, versions of Hamlet and whatnot. So you're seeing like all the hijinks with the kids and the insanity of the behind the scenes of this theater camp, among the backdrop of the camp looks like it's going to get bought by an evil camp, an evil rival theater camp. All this sounds ridiculous. It's shot in the style of The Office or
Best in Show.
Parks
I would
and
say
Rec.
it's more like the Chris Guest movies.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's more akin to the Christopher Guest films in the sense that like it's a mockumentary style. You're seeing it happen. It feels as if, even though it's scripted, it does feel as if some of it is improv, and the results of the comedy I think are mixed. I saw it at a screening at the Regal does this thing where they do the Monday mystery movie, where you go in and you actually have no idea what movie you're about to see. And then they show a movie, but it's a movie that's opening in a couple weeks. So you get to see a movie early. I mean, you pay to see it and it's open to the public, but I happened to see Theater Camp at one of the Regal Monday mystery movies, and it was fine. It was entertaining for what it was. I feel like it didn't have any big laughs. It does have kind of this heartfelt ending that kind of got me. They kind of did bring it all home at the end, but I was expecting bigger laughs. I think that ultimately, I'll just say that Christopher Guest does this type of movie much better. So it's fine for a laugh if it comes. I mean, it's eventually going to come to streaming. You could catch it on streaming. And I'm not a theater kid, but I'll say this. I know people that are theater people or theater kids. I feel like this movie was made for people who know theater, improv, or in the performance space, right? If you're in the performance space, there are tons of in jokes. I mean, I got some of the jokes, not because I'm a theater person, but because I have friends who are theater people, and it's like, haha, okay, yeah. There's all sorts of in jokes if you are a performer. I didn't get all of it, but I thought it was fine. And, I do like that style of movie. It's just that I've seen better movies of this type. Alan, what did you think of Theater Camp?
Yeah, so let me just say probably the gayest thing about me is I love musicals. I absolutely love musicals. The reason I didn't see Indiana Jones.
Could you say that first part you said?
No, I've already said it. You can clip that.
No. Go ahead and say it. What's the gayest thing about you, Alan?
You missed it. You take the real authentic moment. I'm not gonna. You don't redo punchlines live. But I'm just saying the reason I missed Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny was because I took my kid to see Six, the musical. I love musicals. I also have hung around theater kids, and they're the most pretentious people I've ever met. And this movie takes the worst things about hanging around with theater people and amps it up to 15. This movie, just after a while, got really annoying, and it was hard for me to get through it because I'm just seething because these oh my god, it's just stereotypical of what theater kids are, and it embraces that and it amplifies that, and to me it just turned me off that moment. And also the best joke of the entire movie is in the trailer, which is another disservice. So I did not like this movie. I appreciated what it was trying to go for. My daughter, who is also into theater, she wants to see it, so I'm gonna see this movie again.
You're gonna see it again because of your daughter?
Yeah, because I love my daughter and I'm a good father. That's why I'm seeing this again. So I cannot recommend this movie, but I will see it again.
So you don't recommend it, but you're going to see it again.
I have to see it again. It's
all right. Well, I would recommend seeing it on streaming, or here's what I'll do, because with the AMC A-list you can see up to 3 movies a week, and if I've seen everything and I see that there's a movie that I haven't heard of, I'll kind of look up the trailer, watch like half of it, and go, if it looks interesting, I'll watch it. If it looks meh, I tune out. But the next movie I'm going to talk about was one of those movies. But
let me just say, in 2 weeks, the Hugh Jackman Oklahoma is coming to theaters, and I will be seeing that.
I'll go with you.
That's how much I love musicals. Okay, go ahead. Move on.
I'll go with you because I just want to film your reaction. That's why I want to go.
I've seen it before. It's a great musical. Rodgers and Hammerstein. Come on.
But is it so? They filmed Hugh Jackman. They filmed the play, and Hugh Jackman's in the play.
Yeah. Okay. So before Hugh Jackman was Wolverine, he was an actor in the Australian Royal Theatre. They did a production of Oklahoma that they filmed, and this is that production. And he is the lead character, Curly.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we've got a couple more movies to review, so let's get to those. As I was saying before, a lot of times I've got the AMC A-list, and I've seen all the big movies, and I'll notice sort of a smaller indie movie that maybe I hadn't heard of, and I'll just go check it out. And that's what happened with The Lesson. And The Lesson is a simple story of an author played by Richard E. Grant. His name is J.M. Sinclair. He's a very pretentious author. And the film opens with a quote, basically the quote being, which ends up becoming the theme of the movie, is that good writers borrow, great writers steal. So Richard E. Grant's character, Sinclair, is the patriarch of this family. He has a lovely wife. He has a young son named Birdie, and a character named Liam, played by Daryl McCormack. He is hired as a tutor for Birdie, who's trying to get into Oxford. And it is very important that he pass certain tests to be able to get into Oxford. It's very prestigious. He is J.M. Sinclair's son, And this is all very important. So Liam goes to this country mansion that's on a lake, and Liam stays in the guest house, and he's there for this extended period of time to make sure that Birdie gets into Oxford. Come to find out that Mr. Sinclair is trying to write a book. He's been trying to write a book, and he's had writer's block ever since the older brother of Birdie, Sinclair's son, passed away. He drowned in the lake. And since then, he's had writer's block. And Liam has been working on a novel his whole life. And Sinclair has his own novel, and they exchange novels to read. And Liam thinks, oh my God, this novel is amazing. And then Sinclair says to Liam, your novel's garbage. It's a piece of crap. It's amateur, awful. It's terrible. And that thus begins a rivalry between the young Liam and Sinclair, the older patriarch, played by Richard E. Grant. It's a slow burn thriller that by the end, I'm not going to tell you anything that happens in the second half of the film. It is fantastic. I was totally surprised by the lesson. Like I saw it with a crowd. It was maybe half full, but the audience burst out in applause several times by the end of the film, or were like shocked by certain things that happen or certain lines. And it's like reading, the movie is like reading a really good book where you cannot believe the events as they're unfolding, the twists and turns and the things that are revealed, and then where it all leads. And it all ties into great writer's steel. This is so good for anyone that aspires to be a writer, who has been a writer, or someone who just appreciates great writing. This is also, so it's also kind of examination of the process, but not with any sort of heady detail. It's just sort of a thread underneath of what it takes to be a writer. And it's a lot of discipline. And it has such a great ending. I don't want to spoil anything about it, except to say this movie gets a strong recommendation. It's an hour and 43 minutes. And it is in the realm of like a thriller or a mystery, but it's like a slow burn suspense thriller that I absolutely loved. Cannot recommend it enough. And it's under 2 hours, which to me already is like in the plus column. And also Richard E. Grant. The last time we saw Richard E. Grant in a film was in The Rise of Skywalker, where he was like Admiral something. I don't know. He was kind of wasted in that part. So it's so great to see Richard E. Grant, at the top, in top form. And Julie Delpy as the wife, Helene, is so fantastic. I mean, she's older and sexy as hell. I'm holding back telling you more about this film, except it just gets a strong recommendation from me. And it's it's the reason you go to see an indie movie, because I want to see great performances. I want to see things that I would not see in a big Hollywood movie. I don't need the big spectacle. Tell me a great story. And this film does it. So there you are.
I think we saw a different movie then.
Did you see The Lesson?
I did. I watched it last night.
How'd you see it, in theaters?
Yeah, in theaters. It's still in theaters.
You did not like it? You're an idiot.
No. Look. I liked it, but not as much as you did. I think you are. I feel like you're digging very deep in this movie, extracting small nuggets and amplifying it. It was fine. It reminded me of Inside with Willem Dafoe, where it's just kind of this drawn out this 2-hour movie about an idea, about in the case of Inside, it's about art and being locked in a building and of an artist and the art that comes out of that. This one is the same thing, where it's this idea, this theme of great writers steal, and it just kind of draws upon that. I'm just not sure I found it as enlightening, as deep and profound that you did. It's a serviceable story. It's
can
an
I tell
okay it's an okay story. There's a thrill to it. It's like a murder mystery, but the victim is writing. You know, the art is the victim of this.
Can I just say why I related to it?
Yeah.
I've written books. Okay. I've written books. That process is it's solitary, it's lonely, it's like frustrating. You're your own boss. You got to find yourself, you know, you have to kind of find motivation to complete it. Sometimes you just sit there in front of a blank screen. So as someone who has written books, I really bonded with this film and identified with it. So what can I say?
Yeah, well, as someone who's never written a book, but I've written papers. Okay, they're different.
Whatever.
But,
I'm just saying.
But you know, I feel like you're seeing and feeling things that I cannot see and feel because I've not gone through that process. And I think that movie, you know, I think you're getting things from that movie that you know aren't there or not seen by the average person like me.
All right, fine. But I like the lesson. Let's go to the chat.
Yeah, but I will agree with you about Julie Delphi. There's some, you know, not going to comment on this comment, but you know, there's something to it.
Well, there's something. There is crunchy bush implied.
Yes.
All right. Theater camp was cute. I wanted to hate it because I hate musicals, but ended up enjoying it, says Mike MC Wong. Hey, Mike, what's happening? Jocelyn, I think you missed my member message. Asians are discriminated against once again. Alan? Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not sure which. I'll just say that Asians are discriminated against all the time in movies and television. So
yes,
I'm not sure which specific example you're talking about.
Well, welcome to the club. Asians are white adjacent.
Yeah, we are treated like white people, but without privilege.
Yes, I have so much privilege.
You too.
Jocelyn says, Threat Level 2 has been a member for 2 months, says, loved these Critics Court episodes, and I'm excited to see what the next murdered franchise will be. Well, you will participate in making that choice, in choosing what the next franchise. I have a list already that I've made.
Yes. You are a member, so you can participate.
And you're a member, so you're going to participate. And this weekend, Jocelyn, if you're a member, make sure you look in the members tab. I'm going to post after this show. I'm going to post all the instructions for the Critics Court episode we're recording on Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. The time may change, but just look for it. Alan, you're going to be there, right?
I'm sorry, what was that again? I'm reading my
Critics Court.
Yeah, I'll be there. You said Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon?
Sunday afternoon. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay. Leo Cody says, Alan, you hated it, but you'll watch it again. Bro, that's the gayest thing about you.
I have a daughter, and she wants to see it. I'm taking her to see it. I saw the Emoji movie because of her.
Rida Ibn Muhammad, the lesson is not for everyone, but I liked it. The dialogue and main characters acting, just did not like the ending. I loved the ending. But that's all right. That's okay. Mike MC Wong, lesson was great. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's actual talented sister did the music. Amateur writers try to be original, great writers steal. Yes, that was the exact quote. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Amateur writers try to be original, great writers steal.
But he also added good writers borrow, and then great writers steal.
Yeah, there you go. William Joseph Dunn, you sold me on it with Richard E. Grant. I've been a fan of his since How to Get Ahead in Advertising. Yes, How to Get Ahead in Advertising is great. I just like Richard E. Grant. And to see him, he was so wasted in Rise of Skywalker.
Everyone was wasted in Rise of Skywalker. I will say, look, it's not that I didn't like the movie. It's just not my cup of tea. Richard E. Grant is great in it. His character is so well developed. And, so it's a good piece of film. It's just, I think you're seeing more into it than I am.
Right. Mike MC Wong, wow, Alan is hating everything today. Imperfect. Alan's just upset there wasn't enough Asian representation.
There wasn't. Not a single
And Savin says, your poor opinion on this movie shall be the ruin of many a future chair. Chris Gore, probably. Aaron Taylor says, it's the first film from Alice Troughton, who has previously directed TV TV for series like Doctor Who, Baghdad Central, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Well, I think she did a fantastic job. Mike MC Wong, the Chinese movies I watched this week were also not bad. Lost in the Stars was okay, but Love Never Dies was great. Kara Y is getting better and better with age. Used to love her kung fu movies. We'll talk about it momentarily. And the Rookie Critic for 5. I keep seeing you on Drinker and Nerdrotic, but now I finally subbed to Film Threat. Well, the Rookie Critic, thank you so much for finally subscribing. We appreciate you here. We appreciate you so much. Alan's appreciated by you.
Hi, Dad, I miss you.
And you know, just for that, Rookie Critic, we're gonna let you in on our little song.
Chris and Alan, they're critics you can't trust. With honesty like 69, they never adjust. Their opinions are like bullets, they always go bang. Their words hit like a hammer, leaving haters like Kane.
Well, there you go. All right. Let's talk about one more film before we wrap up for today. I want to talk about this film, which I saw. I am fortunate enough to live very close to the Santa Anita Westfield Mall, right next to Pasadena. And there is a large Asian population in that area that often goes to the AMC there, and they will bring in a lot of Chinese films. So I'm lucky that they play a lot of Chinese films specifically at this AMC theater, not always in Burbank. And I happened to go see a film called Lost in the Stars. It's a, how do I describe? Again, it's another thriller film that like I can't really talk too much about in terms of the story. I'll give you the broad strokes of the beginning of the film. Lost in the Stars is about a husband who's married. He's a gambler and wakes up one day. It basically starts off, his wife is gone missing. He's on vacation. His wife's gone missing. He's only able to be on vacation for 4 more days and has to find his wife. He talks to the police. They're very unhelpful. And his wife just suddenly went missing. Then he wakes up in bed and there is a woman who says she's his wife, but doesn't look like his wife. He's like, wait a sec, but you're not my wife. He looks at his phone and there are photos of him with this girl, but this girl isn't his wife. And it ends up being this bizarre mystery. No matter who he talks to, he cannot convince people, hey, my wife went missing. Please help me find her. But there's a girl claiming to be his wife saying, what are you talking about? I'm right here, except it's not her. Is he going crazy? Is the audience being tricked? What is really going on? And that's what's revealed in this mystery Lost in the Stars. That's a somewhat, it's sort of a tragic romance / suspense thriller that I actually enjoyed in the end. There's a reveal in the 3rd act of the film that I can't say anything about that changes everything that you saw. So you think you're seeing one thing in the first half of the movie, and then there's a reveal and everything you saw may or may not have been a lie. And everything you think you feel or thought about that first half of the movie is now completely twisted. Then leading to a climax that has another bizarre twist. I didn't see the twist at the end coming, but I enjoyed this film quite a bit. It's very Chinese. It's very melodramatic.
It's very Chinese.
It's just there's sort of a lot of Chinese stuff in it, and by that I mean people speaking Chinese.
Okay.
No, there's just certain I don't know. Okay, you have the best on your social media. On your social media, you know what I'm talking about. On your social media, it might have been your Instagram or something, Alan. Follow Alan.
It was
on
Twitter.
Instagram.
It was definitely Twitter.
Wait. Let me.
Yeah.
Alan is an Instagram. I think is it Film Threat Alan? Or
Yeah, Film Threat Alan.
Film Threat Alan on Instagram. Follow Alan. Alan posted a photo when he was at Costco. Wait. And he said, "This is the most Asian thing at Costco." And what it was a bunch of clear boxes to put your shoes in. That's what I'm talking about. Don't sit there and tell me there's not like, oh, that's.
I know, but you got to qualify these things other than because there's Chinese people in it.
No. It just, I mean, like real specific things about it. Like just food locations. It was very like, I liked that. I thought it was, just not any things that you would not see in a traditional, American film. But look, I really enjoyed this film. It paid off in the end. It's playing in limited release. It's, subtitled, and I enjoyed it. I'm sorry. But yes, follow Alan on Instagram for more Asian culture.
Yeah, I think you talked me into seeing this one.
Yeah, no, I think you would like it. I see a movie like this. I want to see in the theater. I don't want to see on streaming. I actually want to see this in the theater. And I quite enjoyed it. Some comments here from people. So Myra, I recommend Lost in the Stars. I'm recommending it. Jocelyn, Alan, have you ever been called a banana? Yellow on the outside and white on inside. I know I have. Lol. Really? Banana?
Yeah,
is that
I've
a
referred to
slur?
myself as that often.
Is that a slur? Like a slur?
Depends on who says it. It's kind of like the N-word. If I say it, it's not. If you say it, it is.
All right. Well, I'm not. I've never, Jocelyn. Thank you for being a member. I've never heard of that term.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before, like growing up, we were always ABC, American Born Chinese, and then it became.
And then they made the series. Yeah. Why have you not reviewed that series on Disney Plus? Isn't that a Disney Plus series now?
Yeah. You know what? I started watching it, and the kung fu, the action is all CG. A lot of it is CG. And I just don't associate martial arts and kung fu with CG. It's got to be real. And I kind of just shut it off at that point. What are you typing?
All right, well, I'm typing in something. We're gonna do something. Just trust me on this, Alan.
Okay.
Trust me. Okay. Okay. Back to comments here. My apologies, folks. Thank you, Jocelyn. Luffy is God. Stop saying Richard and Rise of Skywalker together. Are you trying to ruin his career? First of all, I love Richard E. Grant, but yes,
you made the choice.
I can't blame the guy for getting a paycheck. He did his job. I think that, but literally, I have no problem with any of the actors that were in Rise of Skywalker. They were failed. By J.J. Abrams and Disney. So
look, let's face it. Back then, if someone said, "Do you want to be in a Star Wars movie?" everyone would say yes.
Exactly. And hey, super chat from Bush in Ryu Cat for 5. I hate seeing Harrison Ford's career end with Indy 5 when he made unique films through the years like The Mosquito Coast. Yeah. It's kind of sad that may be the last big thing we see him in. Oh no, he's going to be in the Thunderbolts. That's right. Bush and Ryu Cat, get ready for Thunderbolts.
Well, if they actually make it now.
BMO better sub supporter. I like it when Chris gives us the broad strokes. Yeah, I just, if I go into detail, it's just going to ruin the experience of the movie. But Lost in the Stars, again, recommend it. I recommend it. I just can't get specific without ruining the film. Tom Siebert sounds a bit like Clint Eastwood's Changeling with Angelina Jolie. You could say that, parts of it. Mike MC Wong, yes, it is a slur against Americanized Chinese. Mm. So there you go. I had never heard that term.
Yeah, I know. Like when I've been with my other banana friends, ABC friends, we've referred to ourselves like that often.
Well, yeah, I guess it's fine amongst yourselves. Thoughts on fitness with Nigel. Alan looks all white, right, Chris?
Like,
I don't know. Bush and Riocat, They Call Me Bruce was an 80s comedy about a Bruce Lee wannabe and hardly any kung fu. Groundbreaking.
I love that movie.
Yeah. And then, I don't want to forget to say thank you to our mods here today, Lord Thoth, Chicago Box, and Latino Slant, who I will always bust his balls. Will always bust his balls. All right. Now we're going to pivot for a moment really quickly, and we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about just a moment. We're going to do something really quick here. Really quick. And Alan is going to give us his review of American Born Chinese. Alan, what did you think of American Born Chinese?
I think I gave it. I only saw first 2 episodes. And this was months ago. But I don't know why you're doing this to me right now. Look, there's kung fu involved, martial arts, and it's heavily CG. And like I said, because of that, I kind of shut the thing off. Why does it need to be CG? I get the wire work. I get why people were on wires. That wasn't exactly my cup of tea either. I just want to see some real fighting. And this one, it's just that one small fact, and it just took me out, and I was done. And it's a Disney Channel show for the preteen set. In terms of how I felt about it culturally, it was fine. I didn't have anything really to argue about. There's the only thing that bothered me was Kiwei Kwan plays a character who was a child star long ago, and his character was marginalized lived up to Asian tropes, Chinese tropes, and so on. So that's, you're not going to go wrong with it, but it's just not my cup of tea.
What did your daughter think of it?
She will not see it. It's just not.
Hi, Dad, I miss you.
No, I'm just asking.
Really, we're wasting time over this?
All right. So would you recommend American Born Chinese on Disney Plus?
I didn't see the whole thing, so I can't really say whether it's good or bad. It was just, again, it's a Disney Channel show. And if that's your thing, it's kind of it's again nice to see my culture up there on the screen, stories about my culture. I think it did okay. So yeah, I guess if that's something that interests you, go see it. But for I think the majority of you will miss it, and your lives will continue and not be it'll be fine. But I was just not impressed.
I want to know, do you recommend it? Should I watch it or not?
Yeah, go ahead and watch it.
It's fall on the floor laughing. Whoa!
All right. That's gonna. Well, I here we go. There's a lot of wasteism on the channel today. This is Thoughts on Fitness with Nigel. I'm not gonna read these. You read it, Alan.
Representation matters, Alan.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
there are things. Look, being an American-born Chinese, there are movies and things I would love everyone to see. All my white friends, all my black friends, all my Latino friends, my Latin friends. This is just, I would say go watch Crazy Rich Asians, go see Everything Everywhere All at Once, go see Joyride, for crying out loud. This one is not on that list. It's not that it's bad. It's just, it's not, if I want to say, hey, this is my culture, this is what we're like, I gave you 3 good films to watch.
The Creamnado for 5 says, hey, Gorgle, tell me the closest strip clubs to Comic-Con. Well, by the way, there used to be in the Gaslamp. The Gaslamp used to have a strip club. When the Gaslamp was dangerous and scary in the 90s, and it was kind of a gross, crime-ridden area, which is kind of returned, there was a strip club in the Gaslamp that is now on the outskirts of San Diego, and I don't know where that is. I'm not a big aficionado of strip clubs. I like Jumbo's Clown Room because in Hollywood, because it doesn't feel like a strip club. It feels like a dive bar with girls dancing in bikinis, and it's fun, but it isn't gross like I would associate with a traditional strip club. So there you go. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really help you on that. Kevin Apple for 5. Have you seen or at least heard Silence of the Lambs, the musical? My favorite number is If I Could Smell. Yes, I have heard that song. If I Could Smell Her, C-U-N-T. Yes, I've heard that song before. So I am well aware of it, Kevin Apple. Tom Siebert, I feel like Alan Ng wants to throw the show under the bus, but.
I can't throw it under the bus if I've only seen like 2 episodes. I have to be fair.
All right. Well, a quick couple of things. You know what I'm doing this weekend? You will never guess what I'm doing this weekend.
You will be drinking.
I am stuffing envelopes all weekend because the Attack of the Doc Collector's Edition Blu-rays have arrived. They are going to be shipped in waves. Everyone that pre-ordered them, they'll be shipping the first week in August. If you are a Kickstarter backer, you're going to get it first. Those will be shipping out next week. My entire weekend is going to be stuffing envelopes. So there you go. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. What are you up to?
Yeah, I'll be at the National Comedy Theater in San Diego. Set tomorrow at 7:30. So we've been almost selling out. So there are tickets available.
Cool. Well, I'm going to be stuffing envelopes this weekend with copies of Attack of the Doc, going out to our Kickstarter backers first, and then after San Diego Comic-Con, the second wave will go out. We're literally shipping them out in batches of 500 at a time. So that's why we put shipping first week in August. I mean, there's a chance someone might randomly get one before August, but I don't want to promise. Mm-hmm. And then after that, they'll be shipped once a week in batches. So there you go. But that's what I'm doing this weekend. If you haven't gotten it, go to attackofthedoc.com or go to shop.filmthreat.com and pick up a copy of the Blu-ray. And there you go. Are any of the envelopes crunchy? Says Imperfect. Yes. Very crunchy. A couple of other comments here. Chadman says, need a hand? No, I've got people coming over, so I'm good. But thank you for offering, Chadman. Aaron Rosenfeld, I'd be happy to help stuff envelopes if you want. No, I do have people that are helping me out. I appreciate the offer. Chris, can you play a Blu-ray on a PC? If it plays Blu-rays, yeah. If it plays Blu-rays.
It's region free.
Oh, no. One Punch Man Token Fan, you can listen to FNT and Flashcast while stuffing envelopes. Guess what I'm doing? What are you, a mind reader? I'm going to be watching those shows and stuffing. So there you go. And Nicholas Varga coming in with a last-minute super chat says, I live in San Diego, and even I don't know where the strip clubs are for the most part. Yeah, there used to be ones like outside of town, actually closer to the what is it, the stadium there, the football stadium.
Oh, Jack Murphy.
Remember in that area, because I would go
Green Mesa, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I would go see a Chargers game maybe once a year, and there were strip clubs. I believe there were strip clubs in the area. So
and I think the club you were talking about, I think it had some legal problems during COVID because of COVID. I think there was a lawsuit where I think the courts allowed them to operate during COVID, and the city wasn't going to have it.
Well, thank you, Nicholas, for that. I appreciate it. And Bush and Ryu Cat says, Chris, put some lipstick on, kiss some random envelopes to make them collectibles. I don't know if it's going to be collectible. The envelopes are actually just practical. You know what I mean? And Beerosaurus Rex has streamed the envelope stuffing for the most riveting content since Alan painted a room white. Well, I'm going to be watching like FNT and other stuff. Like maybe I'll do a members stream only. But speaking of members, check if you're a member of the channel, you definitely want to be a member of the channel this weekend. You'll get access to our Discord. Additionally, you are going to get the StreamYard link to join Alan and I on Sunday afternoon. We will be doing the Jurors Deliberation Special. We're pre-recording it. We will rerun the show for the public on Wednesday, but you can be on the show. You watching right now can be on the show, and it's gonna be quick. You come on, say your piece, boom, you're out. In, you're out. In, you're out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be like chat roulette, and that now I feel old even using that term. No one knows what chat roulette is. But there you go. And then Alan and I will be at San Diego Comic-Con next week. We're doing a panel. Follow Alan and I on social media. Alan is my pal Al on Twitter. Yes. I am that Chris Gore. I'm that Chris Gore. Follow us, and
you should say what the panel we're doing on Thursday.
The panel we're doing is the Indie Filmmaker Survival Guide. We will cover the major challenges that independent filmmakers face, and one of the biggest challenges is fundraising. That's the fundraising starting. And also we're going to get into really deep kind of legal things that you can and can't do, and also distribution. I'm going to talk to you about the distribution side of things, and you're going to be shocked at what I'm going to say, but I'm going to give out hard information to help people. And Pilgrim Media comes in with a last minute super chat for $2 and says, make Envelope into a doc, Chris. That will be the most boring documentary ever. So there you go. But thank you, Pilgrim Media, for that. And that about wraps it up for us. Alan, go see Alan at the National Comedy Theater this weekend. We're doing the Jurors Special for Critics.
And I'll be doing it the Saturday of Comic-Con as well.
And I will. Oh, wow. Oh, maybe we'll go see it.
Yeah. I don't think so, but you, if you can make it, come.
All right. I will do that.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure you guys are going to want to party on Saturday night.
Yeah, we're definitely going to want to do that. All right. So thank you, everyone, for watching us today. We appreciate that. There are all kinds of other things you could be watching on YouTube, but you watch Alan and I on Fridays, and hopefully every Wednesday as well. Alan, take us out.
Let's get out of here.